Hello students, welcome to session 5 from the lesson Our Constitution, 9th standard, part of Political Science, chapter 1. Dear students, in the previous sessions we all discussed about Constituent Assembly, Drafting Committee, Preamble, quality features or salient features of our Indian Constitution, then fundamental rights. So in this session, we have to discuss about another one important topic, fundamental duties. Fundamental duties. Firstly, see, rights and duties are the two faces of the same coin. See, we no need to neglect for fundamental rights and we no need to neglect for fundamental duties. So here duties also very essential and rights also very essential. So this is equal to the coin. So rights and duties are the two faces of the coin. So coin consists of two sides or two faces. In case one face not having to the coin means there is no value for the coin. So as it is like here, rights and duties both also essential and very important. Rights without duties have no value or significance. Already told, there is no value. There is no value. Rights without duties. Here we have to give focus to fundamental rights also, fundamental duties also. That is why fundamental rights and fundamental duties, these both also two faces of the same coin. So 10 fundamental duties were included when first through the 4th chapter, A part, article 51A. So on that time there are 10 fundamental duties. 4th chapter, A part, 51A article. But after through the 42nd amendment, through the 42nd amendment to the constitution with the 86th amendment in 2002, in the year of 2002, got it? There is a little bit changes in the fundamental duties. Before, at present 11 fundamental duties are there, but before that there are only 10 fundamental duties. Another one fundamental duty added through the 86th Amendment Act in 2002. So at present it means there are now 11 fundamental duties are there. Now 11 fundamental duties are there. When first duties are implemented, that time only 10. 4th chapter, A part, 51A article with the 42nd amendment. With the 42nd amendment to the constitution. But with the 86th amendment in 2002, another one important duty added. So at present there are 11 fundamental duties are there. Got it? So respect the constitution, national flag and national anthem. This is the first fundamental duty. To respect the constitution, national flag and national anthem. So this is very essential here. So each and every one person of our Indian country, we have to give respect to our Indian constitution, ಸಂವಿಧಾನವನ್ನು ಗೌರವಿಸಬೇಕು. And we have to give respect to the national flag, that is the 3-color flag, and we have to give respect to the national anthem. See, these are the national symbols, we have to give respect to that. This is the first and very important duty. The first fundamental duty is to respect the constitution, national flag and national anthem. Because we are all the Indians, we have to give respect to our national symbols. This is the first and very important duty. Second one, to follow the noble ideals. To follow the noble ideals that inspired our national struggle for freedom. Would it? To follow the noble ideals that inspired our national struggle for freedom. Look at this picture mainly. Truth is very important. non-violence is very very important, civil disobedience also very very important. We have to keep in our mind, most of the freedom fighters, when they struggled well and well to providing independence to our Indian country, and that time they implemented in their life some of the important ideals like truth. We have to always speak for the truth and avoid for the violence. We should give importance to non-violence. Got it? And in the same way, civil disobedience. We no need to, got it? No need to not obedience for the constitution. Not, we have to give obedience for our Indian constitution. So, like to follow the noble ideals like truth, non-violence, and civil disobedience. So, this is second important fundamental duty, to follow the noble ideals that inspired our national struggle for freedom. So, this is the very important second fundamental duty of our Indian constitution. Third one, to protect the integrity of India. Unity is playing very very important role. Unity is playing very very important role. See, unity is the strength. Unity is the strength. We have to protect our Indian country unity, because India is a secular country. India is a secular country. Different and variety types of the religions are available for throughout the country. That is why between the people always communalism, it means most of the clashes are there between the religions. It is duty, it is our responsibility to protect the integrity, to save the unity of our Indian country. This is the third fundamental duty, to protect the integrity of India. Fourth one, to defend the motherland when called upon to do so. So here, argue, defend is nothing but to argue. To defend, to argue the motherland when the called upon to do so. It is self responsibility of each and every one citizen. ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತ ದೇಶವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸಮರ್ಥಿಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಯಾರಾದರೂ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೆಟ್ಟದಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಾವು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ವಿ ನೋ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ನೆಗ್ಲೆಕ್ಟ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಈಸ್ ಅವರ್ ಮದರ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್. India is our motherland. It is also our one of the important fourth fundamental duty, to defend the motherland, to argue the motherland when called upon to do so. So that is fundamental fourth one. Like say here, would it always inspiring our Indian constitution, inspiring to the freedom fighters. We give respect to the unity, and in the same way we have to love to our mother country, both also. So that is to defend the motherland when called upon to do so. ಅಂದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸಮರ್ಥಿಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಕಷ್ಟ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೈಲಾದಂಥ ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಹಿಂದೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಟು ಡಿಫೆಂಡ್ ದ ಮದರ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ವೆನ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಸೊ. And to promote the spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the people of India and disown those rituals that go against the dignity of women. Look at here, mainly, got it? Common brotherhood. Look at that picture. Islam religion people, Hindu religion people exchanging the Rockies. So that is a brotherhood. Between the religions, we have to create it for brother and sister feelings. Brother and sister feelings. We no need to discriminate for the people. So that is to promote the spirit of common brotherhood. Got it? And disown those rituals that go against the dignity of women. In case upon the women, is there any kind of harassment? Got it? Is there any kind of attack? Is there any kind of violence? Is there means it is our duty and it is our responsibility. We should against such a kind of harassment upon the women. So this is also one of the important fundamental duty, to promote the spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the people of India and disown those rituals that go against the dignity of women. So it means gender equality. We no need to do like male also equal and female also equal. So like, and present 21st century Females are gave competition to males in all kinds of field. They're working in pilots, got it? And in the same way, aircraft, military, lawyers, doctors, engineers, in all the kinds of fields. This is one of the important fundamental duty. To preserve our rich heritage. What is the meaning of your heritage? ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದ ಪರಂಪರೆಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಾಪಾಡಬೇಕು. Look at the heritage, got it? Throughout the Indian country, throughout the Indian country. What it? Under the British rule, India more than 200 years ago is there. And before that, so many persons occupied, they are trying to occupy to our Indian country from ancient time to at present. Got it? There is lot of development is there in our Indian country in the field of art, architecture, literature, science, etc., etc., etc. These all we should consider for our Indian country heritage. It is our duty, it is our responsibility to protect that. Look at the India map. Got it? You have to see different and variety kind of the pictures. See Jammu and Kashmir. Once we look at that picture means there's very essential for cold weather. And Delhi comes means Red Fort, got it? Taj Mahal, etc., etc. is there. Once we go to the Rajasthan means different kinds of ports are there. Once we come to the Karnataka means Shravanabelagala, Badami, Aihole, Pattadakallu is there. So like different and varied types of the heritage is there throughout the Indian country. It is our duty, it is our responsibility to protect that. To protect that. So that is to preserve our rich heritage. This is also one of the important fundamental duty. And another one, to protect and develop environment including forests, lakes, rivers and wildlife. So and show compassion to animals. See like here we can protect for some of the important forest and lakes. What it? Rivers. Water is very essential. Trees are very essential. And in the same way, wildlife also very essential. We have to protect and develop that. We no need to destroy the forests. We no need to kill the animals. We have to show compassion to animals. Compassion, ಪ್ರೀತಿ, ಕರುಣೆ, ದಯೆಯನ್ನು ಆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳಿಗೆ ನಾವು ತೋರಿಸಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. So this is also one of the important fundamental duty to protect and develop environment including forest, lakes, rivers and wildlife. So apart from that, and show compassion to animals. This is also one of the important fundamental duty. Then another important duty, to develop the scientific temper and the spirit of enquiry. Got it? To develop the scientific temper and the spirit of enquiry. So look at that picture. Got it? What you can understand by showing that picture. So temper, kopa, scientific temper and the spirit of enquiry. Both learning is very important. If at present 21st century, look at most of the parents not properly understanding for the students' mindset. Students' interest having in different kinds of fields, but most of the parents adding pressure upon the students, including for the teachers also. For example, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಮಗುಗೆ ಡ್ರಾಯಿಂಗಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂಥ ಒಂದು ಮಗುನ ಡ್ರಾಯಿಂಗ್ ಶಾಲೆಗೆ ಸೇರಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಡ್ರಾಯಿಂಗಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಮಗುಗೆ ಎನ್ಕರೇಜ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಆ ಮಗು ಡೆಫಿನೆಟಾಗಿ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ನಾವು ಆ ಮಗುನ ಓದು ಅಂತ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಮಾಡಿದಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಮಗುಗೆ ಓದಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಆಸೆ, ಹಿತಾಸಕ್ತಿ, ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಇನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್, ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್, ದ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಆರ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್. ಗಾಟ್ ಇಟ್? ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೊಂದೊಂದು ಟ್ಯಾಲೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾರು ಯಾವ ಒಂದು ಫೀಲ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಟ್ಯಾಲೆಂಟನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸೊ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಗಾಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಟ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಎನ್ಕರೇಜ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾವು ಆ ಒಂದು ಫೀಲ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಸಹಾಯವನ್ನು ಸಪೋರ್ಟನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟಾಗಿ ಅವ್ರು ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ. but we no need to do for the opposite. So this is also our fundamental duty to develop the scientific temper and the spirit of inquiry. Both the ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಗೊಡಿಟ್ ನಾವು ಯಾರನ್ನೂ ಸಹ ನೆಗ್ಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಂಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಾವ್ಯಾರನ್ನೂ ಸಹ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಹ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕು, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರನ್ನ ಎನ್ಕರೇಜ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಬಿಡೋ ಬದಲು ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಯುವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್. ಆಗುತ್ತೆ 100% ಮಾಡು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಟು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ದ ಸೈಂಟಿಫಿಕ್ ಟೆಂಪರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನ್ಕ್ವೈರಿ. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಡ್ಯೂಟಿ. To safeguard public property and to abstain from violence. Got it? Look at the picture. Public property, like that, trains, buses, aeroplanes, some of the important buildings, like some of the important vehicles, like this we should consider for the public property. It is our duty, we have to safeguard that. When there is a communal violence between the religions, between the groups, so on that time arising for most of the clashes, so that clashes leads to strikes, burns, etc., etc., etc. So that time opposite group of people burning for the buses, trains, autos, vehicles, it means like car, motorbikes, etc., etc., etc. Whose property this is? This is the public property. This is the public property. To safeguard, to protect the public property and abstain from violence, avoiding for the violence. We no need to encourage for the violence. We completely destroying for the violence. This is also one of the important fundamental duty. So that is to safeguard public property and to abstain from violence. Then another one, to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activities. Would it? To strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activities. Look at the skill development surveys. Very, very important. This is individually we have to involve, and group wise also we have to involve. It means we have to try to ourselves best and best, best and best, best and best. To strive towards excellence. What it? ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಲನ್ನು ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ನಮ್ಮ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜನ್ನು ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಸರ್ವಿಸನ್ನು ಸಹ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದಂಥ ಒಂದು ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಆ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜನ್ನು ನಾವು ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರಿಗೂ ಸಹ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡೋಂಗೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟ್ರೈವ್ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಆಲ್ ಸ್ಪೇರ್ಸ್, ಆಲ್ ದ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್. ನಮ್ಮಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ವಿತ್ ದ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ರೂಪು ಸಹ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು. Service minded is very, very important. So this is the 10th fundamental duty, to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activities. And the last one, already told, dear students, first there are 10 fundamental duties are there. Then after to the 86th amendment, another one important duty added, that is the 11th fundamental duty. In case one duty added means that duty is little bit special to our Indian Constitution. So that important. And 11th fundamental duty, the parents or the guardians. What are parents? Whether any kind of relations, to provide a opportunity for education. Those who are having a 6 to 14 years, 6 to 14 years, for them providing education, so that is a free and compulsory education. Education providing, that is very, very essential, very, very important. 6ರಿಂದ 14 ವರ್ಷದ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನು ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿಸಲೇಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು 11th ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಡ್ಯೂಟಿ. ದ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಗಾರ್ಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ should provide an opportunity for education to their children, for only their children from the age of 6 to 14 years. We no need to force to the work, it means bonded labor. So this is the 11th fundamental duty. The parents or the guardians should provide an opportunity for education to their children from the age of 6 to 14 years. So dear students, got it? So these are the very, very important fundamental duties. So that 11 fundamental duties that provided by our Indian Constitution. So based on the fundamental duties, 3 and 4 mark question is there. Got it? List out the duties that provided by our Indian Constitution. Make a list of or make a list of fundamental duties. So that already I provided in a classwork. You have to refer very well. Okay, dear students, we have to go to next another one very important concept, and this is the last concept of this lesson. So that is directive principles of state policy. Directive, what is the meaning of here? Directive, direct, guidance. Direct is nothing, guidance. So that is directive principles of state policy. ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಆಗಬೇಕಂತಂದರೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಒಂದು ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಂತಂದರೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ತತ್ವಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸೊಸೈಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೊವೈಡಿಂಗ್ ಸಮ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್ ಟು ದ ಪೀಪಲ್. We have to provide some kind of services to the people. So that is directive principles of state policy. Let we have to gather one by one. See, with an aim to establish a welfare state. Welfare state means the state consists of each and every one kind of facility. Certain directive principles of state policy have been incorporated. When I am teaching for the lesson, directive state principles we can borrow from Irish Constitution. So dear students, directive principles are playing very important role. So already told, the directive principles are very essential and very important. If one state become a developed state means the directive principles are playing very important role. So that directive principles are borrowed from Irish Constitution. Irish Constitution. So have been incorporated in the Constitution under 4th part of 36 to 51 articles. ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ಸನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದರೆ 4th ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ 36 to 51 ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ಸನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೀಸ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಬಾರೋಡ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಐರಿಷ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್, Ireland Constitution. So these principles serve as guidelines to the state. So guidelines, it means directions to the state. Which one? Principles, directive principles. The former of our constitution were inspired by the Irish Constitution to include such directive principles. These directive principles are in the form of directions to the central and state government. So certain principles are is there, that principles providing certain guidance to state and central. So through these the government intends to provide economic, social and political justice to its citizens. So now we have to learn at what kind of directive principles are there. So dear students, some of the important directive principles already told. So these principles are based on ethics. What is the meaning of fair ethic? Moral values. Moral ethics are very important. Got it? And here see, so if the government, central or state do not implement them, they cannot be questioned in a court of law. So fundamental rights is there. In case fundamental rights not implementing properly means here state, central government, common man have a right to question to them. Have a right to question to them. But we not have a right to question the directive principles not implementing by central government, state government or any kind of person. This is not compulsory. So these principles are socialist and liberal and have been based on Gandhian ideals. You know, like Mahatma Gandhiji, truth, non-violence. So like these principles are socialist and liberal, based on the society. So any individual or party that comes to power has to rule keeping these principles as a guidelines. ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಪಕ್ಷ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಬಂದಂತಹ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಬಂದಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ಸನ್ನು ತಮ್ಮ ಮೈಂಡಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಬೇಕು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ದಿಸ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ಸ್. ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಗೈಡ್ಲೈನ್ಸ್. ಹೆನ್ಸ್ these directives are called as principles. Hence these directives are called as principles. Let's see the first important directive principles. To provide adequate means of livelihood to all citizens. Got it? Here to provide adequate means more, ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು, ತುಂಬ. got it? ಏನು ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು, ತುಂಬ ಅಂತಂದರೆ see we have to provide more health facility to the people, residential facility to the people, food facility to the people. So that is to provide more means of livelihood to all the citizens. What we have to provide certain health facility, residential facility and food facility. These three also very essential for human life: food, residential and education. This is the first one, to provide adequate means of livelihood to all citizens. And the second one, to prevent the community wealth and resource from becoming the private property of a few people. So look at the picture. Mining. This is one of the important example. See here, private property people take authority from the government through some of the important actions. So they were digging the earth, prevent the community wealth and resources from becoming the private property of few people. ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿಯಲ್ಲೂ ಸಹ ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಮುಂದೊಂದು ದಿನ ನಾವು ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿನ ನೋಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದ್ಸಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ಗೆ ಹೋಯ್ತು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ವಿ ನಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ರೈಟ್ ಟು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ದೆಮ್. ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ನಮ್ಗೆ ರೈಟ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ನಾವು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ದೆನ್ ವಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ? ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿನ ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಡಬಾರ್ದು. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್. We have to protect for the natural resources. We have to avoid mining, digging of the earth, everything illegally but not for the legally. So this is second one, to prevent the community wealth and resources from becoming the private property of a few people. To provide equal pay for equal work to both men and women and protect labor welfare. To provide equal pay for equal work, men and women. Nowadays there is a discrimination. For anyone, construction work is there, male and female went together to do for the work. The work is completed. Men receiving per day 1000 rupees, women receiving 600 to 700 rupees. Then the difference between men and women 300 to 400. But both are did a same work. But not for equal pay. Work is equal, but pay is not equal. So we have to completely prohibit that. But then we have to provide equal pay for equal work, both men and women. And to protect labor welfare. Here employees state insurance, very important. Employees self protection is very important. ಅವ್ರು ಏನಾದರೂ ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರಂದರೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಆದಂಥ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಜೀವನಾಧಾರವನ್ನು ಕಲ್ಪಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಪೇ ಫಾರ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಟು ಬೋತ್ ಮೆನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವುಮೆನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಲೇಬರ್ ವೆಲ್ಫೇರ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ one of the important directive principle. And another one, to provide public assistance to those who are old, sick and weak or helpless. What is the meaning of here public assistance? Assistance is nothing but help. We have to help to old people, aged people, sick and weak, diseases people, and those who are weak people. We have to provide our kind of service to them. ನಮ್ಮ ಕೈಲಾದಂಥ ಸಹಾಯವನ್ನು ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಅಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಟು ದೋಸ್ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ಓಲ್ಡ್, sick and weak or helpless. This is also one of the important directive principle of state policy. And dear students, another one, to implement a uniform civil code throughout the country. So that I already told, uniform civil code means throughout the country same rules and same regulations. Constitution is same throughout the Indian country. Then why the rules and regulations are different in throughout the Indian country? This is not favor. We have to provide uniform civil code, the laws, the rules, the regulations we have to implement throughout the Indian country same. It shows equality between the people. Got it? To implement a uniform civil code throughout the country. This is also one of the important directive principles. And to provide opportunities for the development of health, preschool education to all children below 6 years. Look at the pictures. RTE, right to education. RTE, right to education. We have to provide opportunities for the development of health. So when children are very small, at the age of 1 year, 2 year, the healthy food is very, very important. Take caring, nutrition is very, very important. We have to do that. And the preschool education to children below 6 years, Anganwadis. In Anganwadis, do you know like that in the private sector, LKG, UKG, like is there, no? So like here, preschool education before 6 years, LKG, UKG, Anganwadis, so such a kind of education very, very essential to the children. We no need to neglect for that. And the development of the children, so that is also very, very important, physically and mentally. We have to do that. So to provide opportunities for the development of health and preschool education to all children below 6 years. Very, very important and very, very essential. And another one important, to protect historical monuments and maintain places of historical interest. Got it? See the pictures. Taj Mahal is there. Got it? Some of the important historical monuments are there throughout the Indian country. So many ports are there, so many temples are there, so many mahals are there, so many ideals are there. So these are all historical monuments. These are the historical monuments. We can protect to them. We no need to destroy to them. We can protect to them and maintain places of historical interest. ಆ ಸ್ಥಳಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಸ್ಥಳದ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಪಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಆ ಸ್ಥಳದ ಇತಿಹಾಸದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಗಮನ ಹರಿಸಬೇಕು. ಆ ಸ್ಥಳದ ಮಹತ್ವವನ್ನು ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೂ ಸಹ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅವರ್ ಡ್ಯೂಟಿ, ಅವರ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ. ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ historical monuments and maintains places of historical interest. Very, very important. Then to separate the executive from judiciary. So we have to, so throughout the Indian country, there is the only one government is there, that is the supreme, it means a central, it means union government. That union government, some of the important three organs. Got it? Executive and judiciary. Another one is legislature, that will come separate like. So here to separate the executive from judiciary. Executive means administrative department. Judiciary means justice based on the cases, the providing for the judgment. What is right and what is wrong. Got it? Now there is a connection is there between the executive and the judicial department. We have to separate that. Administration separate ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು, ಜುಡಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಸಪ್ರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು. ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಬಟ್ ಅದು ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ದಟ್. ವಾಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಟು ಸಪ್ರೇಟ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಜುಡಿಷಿಯರಿ. ಲುಕ್ ಅಟ್ ದೇರ್ ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್. ವಾಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದೇರ್ and the first one Prime Minister Narendra Modi so belongs to the executive, it means administrative department, and another one is the Supreme Court, that is the judiciary. ಇವೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಸಪರೇಟು, ಜುಡಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಬಟ್ ಅದು ಆಗ್ತಾ ಟು ಸಪರೇಟ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಜುಡಿಷಿಯರಿ. ಬ್ಲಡ್ ರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ ಆಗೋಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ there is no judiciary, without judiciary there is no administration. Got it? So like This is one of the important directive principle. And another one, to protect international peace and respect to international law. So between the countries we have to maintain peace, avoiding violence. Avoiding violence, we can implementing non-violence. We have to make friendship nations throughout the world. ಬೇರೆ ದೇಶಗಳ ಜೊತೆ ಸ್ನೇಹವನ್ನು ಬೆಳೆಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು, ಸಂಬಂಧವನ್ನು ಬೆಳೆಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು, ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಪೀಸ್, then to respect international law. So in our Indian country, at what type of rules and regulations is there? What it? In different countries also, their countries certain rules and regulations is there. ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವೋ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಬೇರೆ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನು ಸಹ ನಾವು ಗೌರವಿಸಬೇಕು, ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು, ಆ ದೇಶವನ್ನು ಗೌರವಿಸಬೇಕು, ಆ ದೇಶದ ಸಂವಿಧಾನವನ್ನು ಗೌರವಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟು ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ international law. This is also one of the important directive principle we should keep in our mind. And to establish Grama Panchayat. So this is possible throughout the villages. Why here the Grama Panchayats are very very important like this? In case any one village, at what type of problems are there, village people only know, but not the central government, but not the state government. That is why the village level establishing for the panchayats, that we should consider for the Grama Panchayats. So all the village members join together, sit at one place and discussing about village's own problems. Then after that, village members only, the village people only become a members of that village. Then that person's carrying administration throughout the village based on the problems, providing for the solutions. That is why Grama Panchayats are very very essential. So to establish Grama Panchayats, nowadays each and every one village there is a Grama Panchayat. Now ಅದನ್ನು ಗ್ರಾಮ ಪಂಚಾಯಿತಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Look at the picture there, ಗ್ರಾಮ ಪಂಚಾಯತ್ ಕಾರ್ಯಾಲಯ ಹೆಬ್ಬೆ. First picture, there is a going on discussions, only village people. And second picture, under the tree, they are sitting and discussing about their village problems and solutions. So like, that is why to establish Grama Panchayats also very very important. Then another one, to encourage rural and cottage industries. Why here the rural and cottage industries are playing very very important role means, because before the independence, rural and cottage industries are playing very very important role. Raw work, blacksmiths, goldsmiths, ಈ ಬುಟ್ಟಿ ಹೆಣೆಯುವಂಥವ್ರು, ಹಗ್ಗ ನೇಯುವಂಥವ್ರು, ಮಗ್ಗ ನೇಯುವಂಥವ್ರು, ಸ್ಯಾರಿ ನೇಯುವಂಥವ್ರು, ಈ ಸ್ವೆಟ್ರಸನ್ನು ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸಹ ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಜೀವನಾಧಾರ ಅನ್ನೋದಿತ್ತು. ತುಂಬ ಕೌಶಲ್ಯವನ್ನದಿಂದ ಜೀವನವನ್ನು ನಡೆಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರು, ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇರ್ತಾಯಿತ್ತು. ಬಟ್ ನೌ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ they all destroying because of the reason the competition of machine made industries. Nowadays there is no encouragement to rural and cottage industries. It is our duty to encourage rural and cottage industries. So like these kind of works are very very essential. In the place of rural and cottage industries, replacement of machine made industries. Most of the people buying only for machine made products but not for the man made products. We can encourage for the rural and cottage industries. Very important and very very essential. And another one, to organize and develop agriculture and animal husbandry on modern lines. What is the meaning of here modern lines? We have to do for the agriculture? Already we doing for the agriculture, that is common. But how we can do the agriculture, that is very very important and that is very very essential. Is there soil? Well, agriculture purpose, we can check that soil properly. Based on the soil fertility, soil quality, we can grow different and variety types of the crops by using the technology. So that is a modern lines. That is a technology. It means modern lines. So like we have to do means, definitely agriculture sector become a developed sector. agriculture sector become a developed sector. So we have to follow the modern methods in the field of agriculture and animal husbandry, maintaining of cows, goats, sheep, etc., etc., etc. So this is also one of the important to organize and develop agriculture and animal husbandry on modern lines. And another one important directive principle to ensure prohibition of liquor. It means completely ban of alcohol. Completely banning of alcohol. So this is dangerous to the nation and dangerous to the human health. But this is not banning. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೈಂಡಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಡೌಟ್ ಬರ್ಬೋದು, ಸರ್ಕಾರನೇ ಗೊಡಿಟ್ ಲಿಕ್ಕರನ್ನು ಬ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸರ್ಕಾರನೇ ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಅದನ್ನು ಬ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಥ್ರೂ ಔಟ್ ದ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಗೊಡಿಟ್ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಮೋರ್ ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಲಿಕ್ಕರ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಲಿಕ್ಕರ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ಇದನ್ನೇನಾದರೂ ಬ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬರುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟಾಗಿ ನಿಲ್ಲಾಗೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾನಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್, ಬಟ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ದ ಬಾಟಲ್ಸ್ got it in a small letters printing got it ಏನು ಹಾಕಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಧೂಮಪಾನ ಮದ್ಯಪಾನ ಆರೋಗ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಹಾನಿಕರ. ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸೈಜಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಏನು ಹಾಕಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸೈಜಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಕಂಪನಿ ಒಂದು ಹೆಸರನ್ನು ಹಾಕಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಮೆಕ್ಡವೆಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸೈಜಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಸೈಜಲ್ಲಿ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಾಕಿರ್ತಾನೆ, ಧೂಮಪಾನ ಮದ್ಯಪಾನ ಆರೋಗ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಹಾನಿಕರ. ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈಡ್ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್. So this is possible only in Indian country. So this is to ensure prohibition of liquor. It is our duty to try to completely ban of the alcohol. So this is also one of the important directive principle. And the last one, to ensure development of farming based on scientific methods. So agriculture, I already told, based on the scientific methods. Look at that pictures. They are all doing agriculture based on the scientific methods. We can use in agricultural field technology. We can use in the field of agriculture technology. It means 100% possible to development of agriculture. So dear students, this is the 14th directive principle to ensure development of farming based on scientific methods. So dear students, these are the directive principles of state policy. And see, the directive principles of state policy are important. They aim to achieve social welfare. Why these directive principles are very very important means they achieve social welfare. What is the meaning of your social welfare? The society need is very very important. The development of the society is very very important. We have to provide certain kinds of facilities to the people is very very important. So that is achieve social welfare. While fundamental rights related to an individual, so I already told fundamental rights are related to an individual. The directive principles of state policy related to the whole community. Fundamental rights, right to equality, that is individual right, but directive principles belongs to the whole community. We can certainly implementing for directive principles means 100% possible to development of the country or nation. So the central and the state governments are making attempts to implement all these principles. Nowadays state government also struggling more and more, and central government also struggling more and more to properly implementing of the directive principles. So these principles aim to holistic development in India. What is the meaning of here holistic development? So here the relation between the states holistic. ಇವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗಿ ಬೇರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸು ನಾನ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಆಗೋದಂತಲ್ಲ, ಓವರ್ ಆಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹಾಲಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್. These principles aim overall development in India, the main aim. These are the directive principles. So they are the indicators of holistic development in India. Which were the indicators? Do you know like that? Signals, symbols. Which one? Directive principles. That is why directive principles are playing very very important role. So dear students, this is the ninth standard political science chapter 1, our constitution. So in this lesson we already perfectly understand constituent assembly, drafting committee, then preamble to the constitution, the quality features of our Indian constitution, fundamental rights, then some of the important writ petitions accepted by High Court and Supreme Court. Then we already learned about further some of the important fundamental duties and directive principles. So these are the learning aspects of this lesson. Dear students, this is Chandrasekhar, social science teacher, BGS Public School, Shitlaghatta. Thanks for watching video. Have a nice day. Thank you.